Okay, the last video I wanted to do for you guys was to show you my setup for a home party and then go through what I say at the party just to give you an idea of how I do it and to help you. So I've set up the books here on my dining room table so you can see how I do a setup. I like to put the books for younger readers on one side and then kind of gradually go to the books for the older readers. These are all the books I had in that one box that I showed you earlier. So as you can see, except for my first reading library, but as you can see, one box of books can totally fill a table and it gives a good range of what we have to offer. I also said though that I do like to bring 2 boxes of books, and usually I do. So when you when you're getting ready for your party, you want to make sure that you communicate with your hostess about the time that you're going to get there. I like to get there 30 minutes before the start of the party time. I have had a hostess that expected me to bring a table to her house and I didn't, so it might be a good idea to communicate with that. Ask her, are you going to have a spot for me to set up my books? And then normally my parties are actually at the park with kids involved. So I always like to bring a tablecloth for that because the tables at the park are not as nice as someone's dining room table. So that's also up to you to plan if you want to bring a tablecloth to a home party or a park party or any type of venue that you're doing, you want to do that as well. So you've got your books set up, you're ready, you're there early, you're ready. As guests come in, I really encourage you, obviously you're not going to answer someone else's door, but I really encourage you to go up and introduce yourself. If they've brought children with them, you want to meet the children, you want to find out how old they are, the types of books they like to read. Don't hide behind your table and kind of just wait for people to come over to you. You want to be engaging and you have to come out of your comfort zone a little bit to do that, but it is really important to welcome people after the hostess has welcomed them and find out what their interests might be, just that small talk. And then as it's getting closer to the time to start, it depends on if everyone's there or not. Every party's different, but often, like we talked about the catalog, often I'll give out the catalog because I'll say, please come look at the books, and I'll go ahead and give you your catalog. And again, like I talked about, I discuss with them what's in it. If I'm giving it to everyone, I'll just discuss it once, but you want to make sure you give out your catalogs before you begin to talk about the books, because they're going to want to, if you're talking about a book that they would like or they'd like to learn more about, you want to make sure they have their notes to be able to write that down. So I always give out the catalogs first before I begin my talk. So the next thing I do once, everyone's there and it's about time, if not everyone has come and it's past time to start the party, I'll usually mention to my hostess, let me know when you want me to get started, I'm ready to get started. So that she knows you're a professional, you're ready to get started, but, and she'll say, let's wait for 1 or 2 more people, or go ahead, whatever she says. So the next thing I do is I'll pick about 10 books that I want to talk about when I give my little talk of the guests. So I'll just grab a couple. Like I said, I really like to make sure I do the flat book series, so I'll grab one of those from each series, and then I might grab a couple others just to talk about with everyone. So I'll grab 10, up to 10 usually is what I do. So I'll grab up to 10, I like to put them in order, or usually I like to grab one of these too. Because if you think about it, when we do our videos, we're presenting the books, and you want to do that same thing. They see the books, they've maybe looked at them a little bit, but they don't really know everything about the books. So you want to do that for them. I will also grab the flashlight book, but I don't have a flashlight on me because my husband's videotaping. But obviously you would want to demonstrate our flashlight books because they're so amazing. So that is my setup and how I get ready for my party. So now I'll give my spiel. So we'll do that. So you're my guests and I am going to do this for you. Okay. So I just want to welcome all of you. Thank you so much for coming to Steve's party today. Thank you, Steve, so much for allowing me to present Usborne Books. I'm so excited to be here, and I thank you all for coming. My name is Joanne Steiger. I've been a consultant with the company since May of this year, and the reasons I became a consultant, we have used them in our homeschool for over 5 years, and we just love them. The quality of these books is wonderful, and our homeschool curriculum company actually takes Usborne books and writes curriculum to them, and that is how I discovered them, and our family has so enjoyed them. And so when our financial situation changed, I decided I would try at consulting, and so here I am. I have fallen in love with spreading the love of literacy and sharing books with others. I enjoy it so much, and I love reading, and so to share that love and joy with my own family and with others is something I'm really passionate about. So to talk about literacy for just a moment, the statistics I'm going to give you today are from the Read Aloud Handbook by Jim Trelease. And it's important because, we're talking about books. Why are books so important? And I want to give you some statistics about that. The average kindergartner reports that they're 100% interested in reading. They enjoy reading, they love books, they love that bedtime story. In the study, 100% of kindergartners enjoy reading. In the study they did, by the time a child gets to 4th grade, that drops down to 54%. Then 8th grade, down to 32%. And by 12th grade, only 19% of students reported that they enjoy reading for pleasure. And what a heartbreaking statistic in our country. We definitely hear on the news about the problems with illiteracy and students not being able to read at the appropriate level. And to find that children don't enjoy reading is a huge problem in our country. And so our passion through our company, Usborne Books and More, is to get books into the hands of children and to just help them fall in love with reading. And what's so amazing about Usborne Books, they are a British publishing company that distributes books in the United States through consultants like myself. They are passionate about creating wonderful children's books that are interesting and engaging and draw children in the same way that other things that children enjoy, like toys and video games, draw them in. And so you will find our books are uniquely made in such a way that they're so exciting, vivid. I'll give you some examples here in a moment, but that's what I love about Usborne Books and how they can help with that problem with literacy in our country. So I have some ideas for you to help keep reading exciting for your children in your own home. There's a few ideas. One of the most important things is to read aloud to your children. If you noticed, I mentioned that statistic. It's the 4th graders that drop down 54% only. Why? Why such a big drop in 4th grade? Well, normally that's about the age that parents say they're old enough to read to themselves, and we stop reading to our kids. So I really encourage you to continue reading to your children. Choose books that you enjoy. What's great about reading to your kids is you can read books that are at a higher literacy level, and then they're able to enjoy the story without having to do that work of decoding, and so they're really engaged in the story and enjoying it. And then when they get older, that book won't be so intimidating to them because they remember, oh, Mom and Dad read that to me, I really liked that book, and then they'll go back and read it. Also, reading to our children builds speaking skills, writing skills, vocabulary skills. There are so many things beyond just the ability to read that comes when you read to them. So it's so important. Some great tips for the home. Obviously, number one would be to have books in your home. There's something about book ownership that is so special for children. And so owning books, not just having them at school, but having books of their own in the home is a great thing for them. Also, having baskets for them around a special place for just their books is a great idea. Something I've done in my home that I found really helped. We have bookshelves all over our house. We homeschool, we have lots and lots of books. But something that I found that I started since Usborne, if you can see, I displayed these books in a way here today because I want you to see them and get excited about them. I do that same thing in our home. I'll take books, that are stacked this way. I'll just turn them out on the bookshelf, and you know what I notice? My kids will walk by and they'll pick up those books. So do that same thing in your house. While my husband's showing you our dirty laundry. Do that same thing in your house. Take the books and turn them out. Ones especially that you might have a reader who might not be so excited in a certain subject, but you got this Usborne book for them. Bring it out and turn it that way so that they walk by and they're like, oh, what's that book about? Another great idea is a bed lamp. So often we'll tell our kids, okay, time for bed, go to bed. And there's that fight. Well, a great idea is to say, hey, you could go to bed right now, or you could go read a book in your room for another 20 minutes, and then I'll come tell you to turn your light off. Of course, kids are gonna be like, sure, I'll read a book. And so you've got some books for them, they have their book basket, and they can have that bed lamp in their room. So what I want to do now is just to go over a couple of our books for you, just to show you how unique they are. And then I'll give you some tips for saving money today. So I want to start with one of our most beloved series for babies, That's Not My Monster. It's such a fun story. There's a little mouse for your little one to find on every page. What's so wonderful about this series, you can see the color is so beautiful and vivid. There's a dark black outline around all of the illustrations. The places to touch are really fun and unique. This is one of our most popular series for babies. Another one that is great for little children is our Peek Inside series. This is a nonfiction flat book series. This is all about animals' homes. So you're going through and you're learning about the habitat of different animals. What's great about flat books is studies have shown that when a child is engaged with a book, physically, they retain that information better. And I also love about our flat books is your child might not necessarily want to read, sit through the whole page. That's fine. Every time you read it, you're reading something different. There's little cut-throughs to peek through. This is a great series. The next level in that series, this Peek Inside would be for up to about age 4. The next one is the Look Inside series. We love this book. Flaps within flaps are so much fun, and my kids love reading this book. What a great way to learn about science in this fun and engaging way. This is what I mentioned before about how Usborne creates books that are so fun and exciting that children enjoy reading. They enjoy learning. This book is always a hit whenever I show it to children. They really enjoy this book. And again, you might have a child that's a little bit younger, but as you're reading this book to them, you might only read a few of the flaps for the first few times that you read it, and then as they get older, you'll read more and more. And so this book will really grow with your child. The third flat book series we have is our See Inside series. So this is recommended for children 7 and up. This book my son loves. Even though he's a little bit younger, he's only 4, he really loves this book because he has that kind of engineer's mind. He's always interested in how things work, how do screws turn, how do things lift and go up and down. This book is all about that. It happens to be our customer special as well today. If you decide to spend $40, this book is only $9.99. It's normally $14.99. So I love our See Inside series, and it's great that it's on special today. Another book that we really enjoy is this one, Farmyard Tales. It's about a family that lives on Apple Tree Farm, and it's full of fun stories about their adventures, Poppy and Sam and their dog, and their mom, Mrs. Boot. What's great about this is it's one of our dual readers. We have a few dual readers, and what I love about these is there's a line of text at the top that's a little bit easier. There's a line of text that's a little bit harder, I would say about a 2nd grade level. And you can read the book any way you want. You can just read the top and then go on to the next page. Maybe you have a toddler who's not going to sit through an entire story. Or you can read just the bottom. Or you could read the top and the bottom and the story makes sense. This is a great book because it's going to grow with your child. Once they get a little bit older, you could read the whole story to them. And then once they're learning to read, you could read the top line for them and then you would read the bottom, and that really takes out a lot of that anxiety of learning to read, to know that mom and dad are going to read this book with me. So I really love Farmyard Tales. I should also mention it comes with a CD, which is really wonderful. We have many fiction series for kids that are really great. My daughter loves this series, action-packed, so much fun, but also content appropriate for children. I love that also about Usborne books, and the books that we have available is that the content is appropriate for the age. You're not going to find adult content in our children's books. So I love that. The last thing I wanted to talk to you about is our activity books. We have so many amazing activity books, sticker books that are so fun and exciting. The quality is wonderful. The pictures are so vivid. My children love them. And our Wipe Clean books. They all come with a Wipe Clean pen. And again, the colors are so much fun. There's places to copy and trace all over the page. This one is first words. And kids just really enjoy our books. So now that I've talked to you about just a few of our books, definitely we can go over any one that you have questions with. I want to talk to you about our ways to save today. And those would be, one, combined volumes. So for example, I brought one of our phonics readers. These are so much fun. They take a phonetic sound and the whole story is rhyming and it goes through that phonetic sound. Individually they're $6.99, but we have a couple of volumes where you can get 6 that are bound together, and that savings is passed on to you. So ask me about a combined volume. The next thing we have is a collection. So if you're here and you're really looking for some readers for your young reader, Billy B is one of our great series beginning chapter books. Billy B is available individually, but there's also an entire collection of Billy B. So if you know that your child is really going to love learning to read through these books, you can go ahead and get the entire collection, and again, the savings will be passed on to you. The next I mentioned is our customer special. So that's another way to save. Again, if you choose to spend $40, then our customer special today is how it works, and you can get that for $9.99. 2 other ways to save that I love. You can host a party, which would also help our host Steve to get more free books. So what I've done is I've got these bookmarks and I'm going to stick them in one of the books, and if you're interested in hosting, come talk to me and you can pick a bookmark, and there's a little prize on the back, and so that will be added to your party if you'd like to host. And our rewards are amazing. So many free and half-price books available. The last way to save would be to join. If you just fall in love with these books and you know that your family would love them and you would love to share Usborne books, then that would be just a wonderful thing. The business opportunity is awesome, and I would love to share that with you. Okay, so come enjoy the books and let's answer your questions. Okay, don't stop the video. Wait, don't stop the video. Okay, so that is my little spiel. That's what I do at my parties. And then, oh, hold on, let me get my notes. So let me see if there was anything else I wanted to talk to you guys about. Okay, so after that, I would answer questions. I would take orders. You want to make sure that they're selecting the shipping they want. They know the difference between if their books are going to go to the hostess's home or if their books are going to come to them. The difference of price for shipping, that's really important. As a guest comes up to you and they're asking you about the books, or they really like that first reading library, but it's a little bit pricier than their budget, offer them that option to host. Say, well, I've got these, hosting is so much fun. This is, we could do a party like this, or I do just Facebook parties. If, your schedule doesn't allow for a home party, would you like to pick a bookmark and we can schedule a party? Often people aren't going to come to you and approach you about hosting or joining. They might have some questions, but they're not going to come right up to you and say, hey, I'd love to host, or hey, I'd love to join Usborne. But they might have some questions, and so part of our job as a consultant is to kind of take that uneasy step and say, are you interested? Would you like more information? And that kind of thing. So I try to do that at a party as much as I can. If someone says no, okay, no problem, none at all. But you want to make sure you do that. You want to make sure that you offer that to them. And then you want to make sure that you discuss with your hostess. Often my home party will be followed the next day by a Facebook party. So as I'm, everyone's gone or I've taken orders, or they're just chit-chatting, they're hanging out together. I might get my books packed up. Tell your hostess, I'll reconnect with you tomorrow. See you on Facebook, we'll be doing your party, that kind of thing. You just want to wrap things up with her as well. Okay, so I really enjoyed doing this training. I hope it really helped you guys. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Thank you to Jeanne for posting all of this for me. Like I said, I'm at a home party when you guys will be watching this, but I will definitely check in and answer any of your questions. Thanks, everybody.